Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for exposing my girlfriend's best friend's paternity scheme? I, 26M, have been with my girlfriend, Becca, 25F, for just over a year now. Becca and her best friend, Cindy, 25F, are both also close friends with Mike, 30M, who they met in their first year of college. Something about Mike always rubbed me the wrong way. He's polite enough, but I find he's too hand-sy with the girls. I brought it up to Becca, who says Mike is like a protective big brother to them. Since Mike has been Becca's friend since she was 18, her family love him and invite him to family gatherings. That's why I keep quiet, since he's clearly important to Becca. At Becca's sister Bianca's engagement party, of course Mike was there. While Becca was talking to Bianca, I went outside for some air. It was cold out, so there were only 2 people vaping. At the side of the house I saw Mike and Cindy making out beside an in-the-ground solar light. I pulled out my phone and recorded 23 seconds of their makeout session before going back inside. On the car ride back, I told Becca that someone told me they saw Mike and Cindy kissing outside. She panicked and asked if I had told Stan what I was told. I said no, and she was relieved. I asked, "You're not surprised?" She said, "Of course not. Mike and Cindy have been off and on for years." My mind reeled since Cindy had only been with Stan for 8 months. Becca said Mike understands Cindy in a way that Stan doesn't, and that she covers for Cindy and Mike because Stan sometimes gets suspicious, which is annoying. I lost some respect for Becca then. 2 weeks later, I'm at Becca's place and Cindy calls her. She answers the call on speaker and Cindy announces that she's pregnant. Becca squeals, takes the phone off speaker, and puts it to her ear. From my side, I got that Cindy was sure the baby was Mike's, but she plans to pass it off as Stan's. When Becca ended the call, I asked her why Cindy would lie to Stan about fathering a baby. Becca said that Mike makes more money than Stan. Side note, Mike owns 3 gyms and has a personal training business. Becca then says Mike wants a kid but doesn't want any responsibilities or to deal with baby mama drama, so since Cindy and Stan will probably get married anyway, this made sense for everyone. I was horrified and told Becca that she's just as bad as Cindy for covering this up. We got into a fight, and I left. Later Becca calls and tells me that I'm being foolish for letting other people's drama affect our relationship. I thought we shared the same values, but that she is fine with lying about paternity sets off alarm bells. I don't see a future, but don't know if breaking up over other people's drama is the right thing to do. And I feel for Stan, who doesn't deserve any of this. I feel too guilty not doing anything. So would I be the bad person if I somehow anonymously sent the video of Mike and Cindy making out to Stan? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my sister if the show she kept sending me clips of didn't help her understand why I'm no contact with our dad, then there's no hope for her? I, 31F, have 3 siblings. I have an older brother who's 32 and 2 younger sisters who are 27 and 26. When we were kids, our mom died from cancer. 18 months later, our dad met and married his second wife, who had also lost her husband and had 3 children with him. They knew each other for less than 2 months when they decided we were all going to be one big blended family. Then it took less than a year for the word adoption to come up. They wanted to adopt each other's kids. 3 of us were not okay with this. Me and my brother, and then wife number 2's oldest son. We were the 3 who remembered our late parents really well and didn't want to have a new mom or dad. This did not matter to the adults. My dad told me and my brother that our younger sisters were on board and our younger 2 step-siblings were on board and majority rules. I was 10 years old at the time and it had been 3 years since my mom had died. The house became a battlefield after this decision because they could not get us older three on board, and when they went through the process to adopt each other's kids, they were denied the ability to adopt the three of us who didn't want it. So the younger four kids were adopted by their step-parent. The older three were not. The anger could be felt by all the kids, and the younger ones blamed us and didn't understand why we weren't on board. Wife number 2 and I argued a lot in my teens. She tried to reach out to me as a mother, and I rejected her as a mother. I could be civil and respectful if she was just an adult. But I told her I didn't want another mother, and she didn't like that. She would also tell me how much it hurt that me and my brother didn't want to be her kids. She'd say she loved us, and all she wanted was to call all 7 of us her kids. She said she could not understand the need for us to hold on to the dead, and she said it's not like we didn't still see our late parents' families, so we should grow the fuck up and let them be happy. I told her she should grow the fuck up and accept she can't force people to be her kids. There were several attempts to push the adoption through without us wanting it, and legally it was rejected every time. We were even dragged to a church therapist who tried to talk us into submission about the topic. The relationships were all very strained. My relationship with my brother is the only strong one today, and we're both no contact with our dad and wife number 2. To the best of my knowledge, wife number 2's oldest son has no contact with anyone, including his siblings. My brother and I still have a relationship, albeit a strained one, with our sisters. They were invited to our weddings and have met our kids. But they don't approve of the no contact, and they are on a lower contact now because they have said our kids should know dad and wife number 2. I disagree and have said it would not be healthy, but my sisters don't overly care. There was a show on TLC a few years ago called The Blended Bunch. I never watched it but saw some clips and it hit close to home. One of my sisters saw it and sent me TikTok clips that centered around some of the kids not wanting to be adopted and one of the relatives of the family being the voice of reason. Only my sister kept saying I was a shithead like the relative who said they wouldn't want it either and it was wrong to force on the kids. I told her after several comments that if the clips didn't help her see why I went no contact and how awful it is to see crying kids and to still try and push them, then there's no hope for her at all. I told her she didn't live through the experience in the same way our brother and I did. Her reply back was that I was ungrateful and should see those kids being brats and trying to ruin a good thing just like we did. She also told me to say there's no hope for her shows how repulsive I am as a person. After all this, I'm pretty sure no contact will need to extend to both sisters because both act the same, only one has TikTok for this interaction. But I could still be a bad person in this, so I'm asking if I am or not. What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling my husband that I don't want to be a single mom of 3 kids? So, my husband, 42M, and me, 31F, have been married for 12 years. We have 2 kids, 8M and 4F. Our marriage is not great. His mother and sister often give unsolicited advice on my parenting, our marriage, and life in general. It is better in last few months, since I sit down my husband multiple times, we talked and this time he listened, so they backed off. Not completely, but it is better. In last few weeks, husband started mentioning having a 3rd child, which fills me with dread. I love children, always wanted a big family, but it would be too much. I cook, clean, take care of kids, and work part-time from home. He doesn't really help with house, which I am fine with, nor with kids, which is a problem. I changed all diapers, woke up at night, I take care of fevers, doctor appointments, school, playdates, everything. Mere thought of now going through another pregnancy, then taking care of a baby makes me want to cry. I know I would have to do it all practically alone, because my husband provides and women have been doing it for centuries. I should pull my weight and not be spoiled. It all culminated last night. After another of his "I take great care of you and kids, and we should have a 3rd" monologues, I snapped. I told him that he really doesn't. That kids barely know him. When he comes home from work, he doesn't pay attention to them, except to snap on our daughter when she is too loud. He doesn't know anything about our days because he doesn't ask, and I stopped telling him because he wasn't listening anyway. He is not great father nor husband as he likes to preaches, and I have no desire to be a single mom of a third child. 2 are quite enough, thank you. He stared at me dumbfounded, that called me a C-word, delusional and ungrateful, then stormed out to his mother's house. So, am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.